Alright, good evening, good afternoon, hello. I'm back in the studio and I thought today I'd try something a little bit different. I'm going to do kind of a layered painting. I just want to see how many layers of paint I can get onto this. We're going to paint each group of petals here as a different layer, and we're going to see what we come up with. I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to start by spraying my page and getting a little bit wet. And I'm going to lay a little bit of color on the top of this. I just want to get a little bit of color on here to start with. Maybe I shouldn't have put quite so much water down, but that's okay. I'm going to vary my colors back here just ever so slightly. I'm using cerulean blue, turquoise blue, and this is just a touch of ultramarine blue. There we go. I can spread that out a little bit. We're gonna end up going out here anyways. So let's see what we got here. I guess maybe I did do a little bit much. Oops. I'm going to blow dry this off. Okay, I'm just going to leave my dryer up here. Alright, so what I want to do in this one, now that I've got some basic color on here, and really I just wanted to make sure that this flower, the main flower in our picture, was not so bright, bright white. I wanted to give it a nice blue tint. What I'm going to do now is come back in and paint around that. Just do the negative painting right around that. Cover everything up around it, let it dry, then move on to the next one, and let's see what happens with it here. So I'm just gonna paint right on around this one. I can go pretty quick. I want to get that basic shape, but I don't want to let the corners dry or the edges dry. There we go. If I'm not exactly on the pencil line, that's fine. I'm gonna go right like this in a fairly light, not a super dark blue. Don't want it to get too dark, because if I get it too dark, by the time I get out to the edges way out here, then it's going to be really dark. All right, I've just got a big mop brush here. Well, not really a mop brush, but I use it as a mop brush. This is my Princeton Neptune. It's got some nice artificial squirrel hair bristles in it, and holds a lot of water. Okay, so let me dry this off. Okay, that's pretty dry. So now the rule is I can't go over that light spot. That's layer 1. This will be layer 2, or this will be layer 2. I've got to decide what's on the top, what's the next one down. It looks like this one and this one to me. Those are both going to be layer 2. I can paint everything else around those two. And let's go. Let's try that. Let's see. I'm going to go right in here. And again, I can't go over layer 1. I can do everything else. Here and here. Come right around. Let's see, come on, a little more color, a little bit more water. Oops, again, I hope you're not seeing the top of my head. That's not probably very fun to watch. Oh, what happened to my lights? Alright, and I've got something to do in here. There we go. That gets painted. That's my color on that side, and blend that out. Way out to the side. Just let that water flow really wherever it wants to. The paint, just get it wet and let it go out. There we go. Now I'm going to come over and do this side. I think I said it was this one. Alright. Here we go. Right up and into there. There we go. Let's see, if I tip that brush up on end, I can get a little finer point. I don't want this to get super dark. It looks like I'm getting my mix a little bit dark. I don't necessarily want it that dark. There we go. Mix a little water on that brush. And again, let everything flow right around. I might have gotten a little too much on that one. I'll put a little bit of that color back in there. There we go. And I don't want a wet or a hard edge over here, so before anything can happen to it, I'm just going to bring all that water out. There we go. And if it's, I was going to say, if it's perfect, that's great. I guess I don't exactly know what perfect is. We're going to be adding extra layers on here, so whatever you see is at some point going to get covered up. So here we are. That's layer 2. Now let me dry that. Okay, that's good and dry. I should say you better use some really good paper on this one because you're going to be wetting it again and again and again. Okay, so on this one I'm going to use this as a level 3, and this is level 3, and that one is level 3. The fact that there were 2 of them on level 2 and 1 on level 1 is just coincidence. I didn't mean it to be that way. But you can see it's already starting to get a little bit hard to see. That's why you don't want to use the thickest paint in the world, because you'll end up having trouble. But I picked hydrangeas knowing that if I have trouble, I can rest assured that the leaves, the petals, basically just diamond shapes, and I could probably figure out how to paint those. So that's why I've done that. There we go. And pull that out. A little water to let that go all the way out there. Trying to get that before we get a hard edge on there. We don't want that. There we go, and not remembering our rule that we don't paint into a place that we've been into before. Alright, and this one, here we go, right on around, and that little spot in there, a little bit in there. Alright. And I'm using all blue just because it's easy. The hydrangeas are blue. There we go. And I think I'm going to do this one in blue too, so we'll cover that whole area. It just seemed a natural thing since I was going to be painting some blue hydrangeas. I know there are other color hydrangeas. You get some magentas, there's some purples, and some whites even. But I just thought it would be nice to do some blue ones here, and we're going to pull this out. Let this blend in everywhere we can, being careful not to go over anything that we've painted on the previous level. There we go. Let that come all the way out. And I think on the next level I can just see a couple of more. Maybe we'll do one more level like this and call it a finished painting. Before we do that, I think I need to pull out a little bit of moisture on there so it doesn't get blown all over, and let's do one more drying. Okay, that feels dry to me. Now I can make out 1, 2, 3 more flowers. Let's do those. I'm going to adjust my color just ever so slightly. Put a little water in there, and you can see I'm just only using a little bit of blue there that I've mixed. And here we go. Again, every time I look up, I don't see my head, but you guys might see a little bit of my head there. If you do, I'm sorry. Completely unintentional. Let's see, I think this one goes out like that. Might be a little bit that needs to come into here. And a little bit of space in here, I think I can see. There we go. Just blend that out. There we go. Really nice. I like that. Alright, I got one here I need to work with. Ooh, that was a lot of water. We'll just pull that all the way around. There we go. We'll kind of match and let those two meet up there. I go in there a little bit. I gotta go in here. Right like that. There we go. And this one right around. Make a nice corner right there. Real nice. Really nice. There we go. There we go. Alright, let that one come out. I've got a little patch in here I need to get to. Alright, and blend this all around. Right on through, right around like that. We'll just let that water do what it's going to do. Beautiful. I got one more flower I need to work with right up here. There's the first petal. There's the second petal. Here's a bit of the third petal. Alright, there. I need a little bit down there. There we go. And blend this one out. Let it do what the water wants it to do. There we go. Let me give a little dry on this. Actually, I got a little too much, I can tell right there. some of that up. Good. Suck a little bit of that out of there. So I can move it back to there where I took it off. Good. Good. Alright, I've got one more thing to do on our painting. I'm going to take a tiny brush and I'm going to put in just the center of our hydrangeas, just the indication of where the center would be, only kind of painting a little bit of it where you might be able to see where the shadow's coming down. On some of these I'm going to actually drag it out so it's even a little blurrier than you might think. Just some really light marks. There we go. And that's it. There's our hydrangea with a negative painting. I'm just going to sign this one up with my name right about here. And that's it. There's our tutorial instruction on negative painting. If you like the painting, I would love for you to click the like button and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you back here in the studio painting with me another time. I thoroughly enjoyed having you here. Thank you very much.